Welcome to new SailfishOS podcast, and this time around I want to show you energy saving options under SailfishOS. Some of you have complained about the battery life on the Xperia 10 Plus device or the Xperia 10 device or even the Xperia XA2 device or even the Xperia X devices running SailfishOS, and here I have some tips for you what you can do to make this a bit better. First of all, display brightness settings. So there's a brightness option when you go into settings under display options. You have a setting to automatically adjust the brightness. I turned this off because I don't want it to automatically adjust the brightness, especially if you're in bright conditions like sunlight outside or you're driving through sun and shadows. It will jump up and down all the time, and this will cause more power usage. So what you have to do is just turn off adjust automatically and set your brightness according to your condition, and this works the best and saves the most when it comes to battery life. Also, sleep after, here you can set the sleep time, especially if you don't have the habit to turn off the device. If you just want to leave it, set it to 30 seconds. I think this is a better way. I have it to 2 minutes here because usually if I don't need the device, I really turn it off. That's this. Then there's another option, a mobile connection. You have to take a look at your mobile connection. As you can see here, my mobile connection 4G is pretty much very full, so there's no problem with signal loss. But if your signal is not as strong, what you can do to improve the battery life is just switch to a different method. So instead of 4G preferred, you can switch to 3G preferred, because most of the time the 3G signal is stronger, so then it does not need to put so much energy into the antennas to connect to the 4G signal or to connect to any signal, so it can be in a bit more power saving mode. So you can set it to prefer 3G. 2G I would not recommend, because first of all it's very slow, and second of all most of the time the 2G only option will consume more power than the 3G option. So one way is to try the prefer 3G option and then see how good the signal strength is. And if you need internet, you of course then prefer 4G, and you will have to switch here. Also, what you can do is of course disable broadband or internet in this case if you don't need it. So here you have a switch. As you can see here, it's disabled for now because I really don't need it, and I can simply disable it from here. Then of course connect to a stronger Wi-Fi. It's the same thing. As you can see here, my Wi-Fi is now very weak. You can see here the Wi-Fi signal is very weak. So what I want to do is connect to a much better Wi-Fi. So by going here into my Wi-Fi's, connect to internet, and it will search for Wi-Fi's, and here you can see I have my LLTP link. I have to insert the Wi-Fi password. I will do this of course off screen, and then it will connect, because this Wi-Fi is much stronger, and as you can see right now I have a very strong signal here, and yeah, this is also causing less power usage on the antennas on the Wi-Fi hardware itself. And then SIM cards. Disable unused SIM cards. The Xperia the Xperia 10 Plus device, Xperia XA2 devices, and of some, I think also the Xperia X devices, they have, or some of them have dual SIM capabilities. If you have a smartphone with dual SIM capabilities but you only have one SIM card, or you only need one SIM card at a time, you can disable the other SIM cards. Just go to SIM cards under settings and disable the slot that's not in use. And this will then preserve a bit of power as well. Then of course what you also can do is, if you are not using a GPS navigation system, you can disable the location services. There are the option first of all to disable it completely, or if you only need it occasionally, you can go into battery saving mode, which is also pretty handy. I don't need it at all, so I can disable it here. Then the next thing is disable Bluetooth if you don't need it. So if you don't have Bluetooth headphones that you want to use all the time, or you are not using them, just simply disable Bluetooth. Also will save a lot of battery. And the same goes for NFC, near field communication. I don't know why it is enabled by default. It doesn't work. There's no application that needs it anyway, or that works with it, so disable it. You can safely disable it, because there's really, for SailfishOS, there's no application known to me that uses NFC. Then battery enable activation threshold. So you can find battery options under the battery entry here. And here you have the option to enable a threshold for when the battery power falls under a certain percentage, that it will automatically enable a battery saving mode, which will reduce the syncing times for emails and reduce things in general, connection to the internet, and reduce I think also CPU usage and so on. So what I recommend you using here is at least 15%. You can also set it to 20%. I have it set to 15%. And of course, if you have a problem, or you think that you need the phone for longer than you usually are using it, you can enable it also in higher power modes, and it will go into the standby mode. But what I would recommend in this case, if you really need a phone in the future, you don't need telephone communication services at all. You can disable Wi-Fi, you can disable everything else. But what I really recommend for the best power save for emergency is the flight mode. So you just go and enable the flight mode. Where is it? Here, flight mode. You can enable flight mode, which turns off mobile, wireless LAN, Bluetooth, and so on. So this is the best saving feature, but only for emergencies. Then of course what you can do as well is, you can see I have many applications open. So they also might drain the battery. So what I recommend is close your applications, especially browser, navigation and chat apps, which are constantly connecting to the internet or refreshing stuff in the background. They might really use your battery and drain your battery. So keep that in mind, to close at least those applications. Some other applications that don't auto refresh all the time, you can run in the background, no problem. It's a multitasking operating system. You want to do this, right? So then of course there are some applications that can help you under system. For example, you can see I have Sysmon installed, which will give you general data about your battery usage. And as you can see here, my battery usage is usually 2 days, and then I have to charge it again. So roughly 2 days it will work on my Xperia 10 Plus device. I can also achieve 4 days if I really am conservative with my usage, but 2 days I think is what you could expect from your Xperia 10 Plus device. At least 1 day when you heavily use it is possible. So this is an application that allows you to see and basically see a statistic, and basically also see how the CPU usage is, how the network usage is, and so on. When you are in doubt and think there's an application running rogue and eating all CPU time, you can also install an application called Crest, which will list you all the applications running right now that might have high CPU usage. As you can see here, at the moment it's only Crest. These will list all of the applications, Android applications and SailfishOS applications. If you think it's a system application, so it might be a bug in SailfishOS, what you can do is also enable apps only off, and then it will also list all the system applications as well. Usually they don't tend to use much CPU, but if you see here one application using like 80-90% CPU, it might be a bug somehow. You might need to restart your your phone or the lipstick graphical user interface that you can do under systems. If you have SailfishOS utilities installed, under utilities, here can you restart your home screen. So this is also a possibility that you can do. But I would recommend, if you really see something like this, try to restart your phone and see if it helps. So this is the application Crest, and yeah, these are, I think, most of the tips and tricks how to disable battery hungry applications, or how to disable all the battery hungry features of your phone to make it more battery safe. There are some more advanced features. I will take the phone now to my side, and one thing I want to show you, of course, what I will do right now, this is why I will take the phone to my side, is my system, check my IP address, and then connect via Wi-Fi to this IP address. As you can see here, that's my IP address. So I want to show you one interesting trick as well. Here you can see me in the mirror of my laptop. I will connect to my phone via the Wi-Fi address. Of course, you can also give it a name. This would be easier than to connect to. You don't need the Wi-Fi address, but I'm using this right now. Connection timed out. Okay, you have to type in the right numbers, then it will work. And yeah, connect to it. What you can do right now is, this is a more advanced feature and really only for people who want to experiment, is you can check the CPU governors that are available. Those are the ones who basically put the frequency of your CPU higher or lower depending on which situation you are right in. And I'll just go to CPU 0. I think it has 6 or 8 cores here, so you can see here this is CPU 0, and there would be CPU 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If it has 8 cores, what you can see here is some options that you can change. First of all, what we want to take a look at, and this might vary from SailfishOS to SailfishOS device. These are the values for my Xperia 10 Plus device. What you can do here is simply check the available governors for CPU scaling, which are basically methods, algorithms that are used for CPU scaling. And as you can see here, we have interactive, we have conservative, we have on-demand, user space, power save, and performance. And what you can do if you want to really save power is go to the power save mode. So these are the available governors, and of course you have also the option to see, where is it, the scaling governor itself, and you can see what is in use right now, and it should be interactive, which is the default, at least on my Xperia 10 device. And what I can do simply is, first of all, let me do this with Devil SU. So you need root rights, and I will then execute the command, which is simply echoing out the power save option and put it into the scaling governor. And to see if it really worked, you just simply cat out, and you can see it's now in power save mode, and this should save some power. Power save mode might also use more power, especially if you demand more tasks, because the tasks will take longer because the CPU is limited. So what you want then maybe instead is a conservative one or the on-demand one. So you have to experiment with this. So this is why it is an advanced feature. It depends on your usage. And you can also go to the conservative one, which will conservatively change the frequency of the CPU, or on demand, which will change it on demand, like it says. Interactive usually is the newest one and should be better than the on-demand one, but you never know. And also, if you need performance, for example, you can go also into performance mode if you want to. But I recommended you to try out the power save one, which also works pretty fine for the device. It will not make the device ultra slow. So you can see here I have now a power save one active for one core. Of course, this is only active for one core. If you want to make it active for another core, you can go into the other CPU cores. Let's list all the CPU cores that we have here. And you can see we have here CPU 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So what we could do, of course, is just simply echo the power save one into all of them by just simply going here and saying we have a list 1, 2 of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know, programmers like to tend to start with 0, and yeah, we want this in the CPU frag folder, and then the scaling governor. And then if you do this, it will not work. What you can also do is just simply think what you can do is simply go here and say star. It's not working. Well, but in general you get the option. Maybe someone can post me the right command. I will figure it out right now after posting this video anyway, but in theory you have to change all those CPU governors for it to take part. Actually, let me search on open repos if there is somehow always nice applications on open repos, and maybe there's already CPU governor changing application. Let me search for CPU maybe. System data scope, CPU frag utils are there already. That would be cool if there would be an application, but I can't imagine, because you need root rights for this, that there is no graphical application for doing this. And of course it's an advanced feature, so but you get the idea. So this is first of all everything for this screencast, everything for this demonstration, I want to say, not screencast. If you have an Xperia 10 Plus device, Xperia XA2 device, Xperia 10 device, or Xperia X or Yola device or Yola C device, you can tell me about your experiences with power saving under SailfishOS. I hope you enjoyed this little video demonstration. If you have questions, ask them down below. Otherwise, just like, subscribe, and have a lot of fun. Bye.